$500 billion. That's more than 6 times the value of the state's outstanding bonds. So could other states see the same problem? And is your pension under attack? Big topic here. Let's bring in Simon Rosenberg. He's the founder of the New Democrat Network, and Ben Ferguson, syndicated talk radio host at Icon Radio Network. Ben, let me just start with you. I mean, is this going to be bailout nation because the government employees don't put enough into the pensions? The estimates and the actuarial assumptions are crazy, so are the taxpayers going to have to bail them out?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a classic of the government passing laws that they don't let themselves have to abide by. I mean, companies can't use actuarial numbers anymore when they report the Securities and Exchange Commission. Yet the government can go, oh, you know what, to make the accounting work, we'll say we're going to get a 6% return and it'll be fine. This is what they've done with health care, what they've done with Social Security, what they've done with Medicaid. It's a classic example of government saying, we'll deal with it later. I mean, look at L.A., the mayor of L.A. saying we're going to cut down services 2 days a week to make our budgets work. I don't want them in charge of my pension or anybody else's.
Simon, what is the actual law here? I mean, if California has such a deficit when it comes to pensions, don't they still have to pay those out? Aren't they legally obligated to pay those out to retirees?
They do. And I think what's critical about this is that what we now realize is that we've got big economic challenges ahead of us. This recent downturn in the recession weakened public financing of public institutions already beyond the already weakened state that they were in. And the second piece is that we haven't had sustained broad-based growth in the middle class for 10 years. And I think the political leaders of our country are facing these two daunting challenges.
Well,
how do you restore broad-based growth, and how do you put our public institutions...
pension holders lost money in the market like everyone else. I mean, if you had a 401k, you lost money.
Right, and the question is going to be, that I think is going to be difficult at the state and federal level, is how do we put these public institutions on a firmer fiscal setting in the years to come?
Have the laws that you apply to the private sector apply to actual government. I mean, the fact of the matter is they played with the numbers and did faulty accounting to guess what their return's going to be, because they know at the end of the day they can raise your, how much you give into the pot, which is raising your taxes. That's what it is, raising taxes.
They want taxpayers. Look, there's a big story yesterday on the front of the Daily Caller, right, the great website, and it played in other media sites. Labor looks to federal government for help on pensions. This is rolling down the track.
It's another entitlement.
With these are defined benefits. They're not defined contributions. They don't have to pony up their share, Simon. They make wildly inaccurate actuarial assumptions, and then at the end of the day, we are left holding the bag. This is a system that is bleeding taxpayers to death, and it's got to be changed, doesn't it?
It's clearly unsustainable. I mean, I think we can all agree on that this is an unsustainable system, and I think that one of the challenges at the federal and state level is that we're going to have to government's going to have to do much more with less, just the way the private sector has been doing in previous years. And I think the challenge we're going to have, Larry, on this specific issue is that these commitments were made by government to these employees, and they entered into employment based on a contract and understanding of what was going to happen. And so we're going to have let me just finish. We're going to have two challenges ahead. One is how to deal with the existing shortfalls, which are serious and real. And second of all, how do we build a better system going forward?
Stop you on this contract. Simon, a lot of people are saying, look at these contracts for AIG. Not fair, not fair, not fair for the bankers. So we should get rid of them. They should be dissolved. Can you apply the same logic here and say these contracts for all these pension employees are just not fair, and therefore they should be dissolved?
I think it's going to be difficult for many average people to understand why people who work in government for 20 years get to retire with full benefits when regular workers don't get to do that.
That's a great point. The benefits are 50% better than the private sector, Simon.
Well, and after 20 years.
That's a terribly important point. A very important point. The question is how to solve that. You're going to have to wind down the benefits. Now, let me ask you both this. In terms of a constructive thing, why not go to defined contributions, meaning you and I, whoever the workers are, they have to pony up their share. As I understand it, a lot of these government unions don't have to hardly put any money at all. It's like a free lunch pension.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing, Ben. Don't we have to redo this whole system?
Absolutely, but the biggest problem to that is you have many that are in the unions and many that are in the Democratic Party that have used this to buy votes. They use this as a way to say, hey, this is an entitlement. You're going to get it. Vote for us. We'll make sure rules to your advantage. It's unfair that you're in this and you're getting 50% better returns than an average guy like me working my tail off.
What about a defined 401k, Simon?
Someone has to start making some hard decisions. I mean, we've talked about the same thing with Social Security. At some point, you have to wind it back and say it's
But Simon, what about a 401k type contribution? In other words, defined contributions. Yeah. So we have to make, any worker, private, public, we have to put in our share. So there's no free lunch here. What's your take on that?
I think that the key point here, and I agree with your assessment of this, is that there's going to be skin in the game for everybody here.
Right.
We've got to get our public institutions in a much firmer fiscal setting than they are now, whether it's Social Security, right, or these public pension plans. The path that we're on is unsustainable, and these, as Tricia said, these are going to be hard and difficult choices that our public leaders are going to have to make. But they must be made. They must be made.
Taxpayers bail out. See, here's where you're going to lose me. Bail out nation. No way. I don't want to bail out.
I didn't say they're going to bail out. I think we're going to have to make hard and difficult choices, and this is going to be one of the great challenges for our public leaders in the years to come.
Here's a real simple challenge, and they can all take this. When government makes rules on how you report actuaries to the SEC, make it apply to the people that are making the rules, and we wouldn't be in this big of a mess right now.
Yeah, you can't make assumptions that you can't be guaranteed. Hey, listen, we really appreciate it.
Sure.
Simon and Ben, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
When we come back, winding up for hurricane season, we'll tell you how many major storms are expected to slam the U.S. this